1, 2, 3.
You read? Over. Come in. Over.
Hello, X-Goons, and welcome to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
They'll make nice lab rats, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I think so. I am your host,
Yes, very nice.
Skelhorn Shaw.
Is he alive?
When the mind is destroyed, the body cannot live.
And with me, as always, is my co-host.
Talk to me! Help me!
Talk to me. Help me, Harry Lalondre.
That's me. I'm here. I'm here to help.
Excellent. That's what I need. What kind of help do you provide?
I'm currently changing the light color behind me to purple.
Oh, very fancy.
I don't think it's helping.
Oh, I like the purple.
You like the purple? Okay. I don't know if it's enough brightness.
Looks better than the red did.
My screen gives off a lot of brightness. I was trying to make it kind of cool. I can make it blue. Is that more relevant to the experience we're doing here?
Oh,
I feel like brighter colors.
Is it a bluesy day?
Well, brighter colors seem to be more like there's a magenta, there's a lavender. I'm trying to make it something that'll kind of work for the show, give you some extra fun lighting. I feel like I think my screen just gives out so much light it kind of takes over everything.
Maybe. We are your hosts.
Why not just dispose of them and be done with it?
Because then there would be no show. So we are here, and it's a great day because.
Hey, look who I found coming to join the party.
Glad y'all decided to join the party.
Oh yeah, we're partying. Why are we partying? Because it's our 30th anniversary spectacular. Yay! Yay! See, I even brought you and the X-Goons a piece of cake.
That's very nice. I can't eat it because it's, I'm on the internet, but I appreciate it very much.
Well, what did you bring me?
Good tidings and light so that you guys can actually see me. I'm just going to do it that way. Do you like warm white or soft white? Let's do warm white. I like warm.
Let's be warm.
Let's be warm. So these were the color, the bulbs I had in my library. And then I thought, well, I'll put them in here, and then I can change the colors for all the people at home. And then that did not work at all. It is the 30th anniversary of X-Men the animated series. Is today the day?
No, yesterday was the day. It premiered on Halloween. How cool is that?
That is incredibly
cool. Best day of the year to premiere the greatest show of all time, at least in animated form. Yeah. How was your well, let's hold on. I have a segment for this.
Oh,
Don't
Jesus.
I?
Here we go.
What?
Here we go. He's got stuff.
We're catching up with the creature.
Well, I appreciate that you gave my nom de plume the proper one, because several people have asked me, like, hey, how's it going, Frankenstein? And then I have to correct them and tell them that Frankenstein is the name of the doctor, not the name of the creature. The creature does not have a name. In fact, he's rather upset by that fact. So, yes, good.
I'm a professional.
The play ended its run, and it went very well. We did have a great run. Yeah, I couldn't be prouder of the show itself. Anyway, I guess did we talk about it a lot on the show prior to it actually happening, or was I just saying?
No, not really. I mean, it's been mentioned.
I was in a stage version of Frankenstein. I played the creature.
What are you popping there?
Can you hear that?
Yes, it's very loud.
I'm sorry. I got an Amazon package, and I was opening it up because it was going to be my comic recommendation. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Sorry. All right.
No worries.
So we are here. I was in a stage adaptation of Frankenstein. I co-directed and starred in. I hesitate to use the word starred, but I was in.
Title character. Well, not quite.
of sorts.
Not quite.
So yeah,
the Doctor's the title character.
I played the creature. There's lots of photos of that on my Facebook, and I guess we can share some of that on our social media page if people care. But yeah, it was a really good time. It's a very literal adaptation of the book by Nick Deere. Did the script originally. This was done in England in 2011. The original version of the stage play was done by Danny Boyle. He directed it. You may know as the director of Trainspotting and 28 Days Later. Sunshine, Slumdog Millionaire yesterday. He did a lot of movies. But anyway, it also had Johnny Lee Miller and Benedict Cumberbatch in it, and they would swap roles. So one would play the Doctor, one would play the creature, and then the next night they would do the opposite. So very interesting. Original version of play. I was a huge fan of it. It's very well done, beautiful story, lots of rich, complex themes, dark stuff, and yeah, we do a lot of comedies in the theater group I'm in, so I thought it'd be nice to do something different, and we did, and it went really well. We got a lot of good reviews. Yeah, and overwhelmingly positive, critical success, I'd say. So yeah, I'm very, very happy and very proud of my cast and crew and the show.
Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations!
Thank you, sir.
Yay! I brought you a piece of cake for that too.
Ooh, I also cannot eat it, but thank you.
Internet
until we figure out teleportation.
Working on it. Working on it over on the Trek podcast. But well, how was your Halloween?
Pretty good. And yours? I drank and watched a movie. I watched the new Hellraiser movie.
Oh yeah, any good?
I liked it.
Okay.
I also watched the last half of it. I know we talk about movies later, but the last half of a movie called Death by Temptation, which is a black movie made in the early 90s. I'd say late 80s, perhaps. Early 90s, I'd say. Samuel Jackson's in it very briefly, in a very small role. So I think it's kind of before he really was popular. So probably pre-Pulp Fiction and all that. But yeah, it's about a succubus that lures young men off to have sex with her, and then she rips them apart and consumes their souls. I guess it's kind of vague on what exactly it is she's doing. But yeah, it's
a stereotypical succubus, you might say. Of
sorts, yes. And there's some indication that there was an incubus possibly involved later. But anyway, it's a very strange movie. Very interesting. I don't think there's a single white person in the entire cast, which is cool. It's cool. I liked it. Very low budget, but Ernest Dickerson did it. He was a very famous director and cinematographer. He did all of Spike Lee stuff, and he did Demon Knight and a bunch of other movies. He was a cinematographer. Yeah, and some fairly big actors like Bill Nunn, who is you may recognize as Robbie Robertson from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, was in it, and a few other people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was good. It's a good movie. Yeah, just did that. I had some Chinese food with my wife and watched that.
That would be a chocolate cake.
I saw your Halloween photos. They're very cute.
Oh yeah, well I got to take the baby out trick or treating, so that was fun, and she was actually old enough to enjoy it this year. Watching her run up to the doors and knock on the doors and take the candy and put it in the bag. It was all very cute.
It was very cute.
Watching her walk and smash her bag off the ground as she walked, because that's kind of what she was having fun doing. That was really cute too. So best Halloween ever. I loved it. Sam asked, how many trick-or-treaters did we get? Most in years. Did you notice that? Like,
no, because I never get many. The most I've ever had is 3. This year I had
0. You live out in old Barns.
It's true. Well, I don't give away exactly where I live. I don't want all these ex-goons showing up at my door.
You've said that on the show like 10 times.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
I do. I have to listen to these episodes over again to make sure it doesn't suck. Don't you understand?
But they still go out.
Oh my. Well, we are here to review season 3, episode 15, the Dark Phoenix Saga, part 2, the Inner Circle.
It's true. The circle is inner, not outer.
Yep. Written by Stephen Levy, directed by the great Larry Houston.
The great, indeed, Larry Houston.
Yeah, man, he's the best. All right. So, I guess that brings us here.
Previously on X-Men.
Do you read? Over.
Oh my God! Why does this always happen?
Over.
As soon as you click near the bottom of the menu, it takes you to the next.
It literally happens every single time.
It does. Anyway, I'm gonna hit the thing again.
Previously on X-Men.
Redo.
I am Phoenix!
Good work, my love.
Thank you, my husband.
Very tense. Very tense.
Mm-hmm.
So, that sets us up. Take us away, Andre.
Oh, was I supposed to watch this one?
Yeah, did you not watch this one?
Oh, I've actually seen a single episode of the show. I just been kind of muddling through. Have I
You've just
been?
been
I think I've been doing pretty
Wikipediaing
good,
your way
though.
through this stuff?
Pretty much, and I think it's going
Kinda
pretty
sad.
well. I'm kidding. Of course, I watched this episode, and actually, I like this episode. But anyway, let's get into
Me
it.
too.
So, in the mansion, we see Professor X trying to use his psychic powers to see what's happening with his X-Men. But as soon as he locates them in the Inner Circle Club, things go white. He can't see anything. He tries to use Cerebro to help him. He calls Cerebro. Do you have the sound clip? I feel like you're clicking a sound clip.
Keep probing. I need a moment's rest.
Oh man, that's like the perfect. That's the perfect little clip you got there. That's fantastic. Keep probing. I need a minute's rest.
Look, Xavier takes his probing seriously.
Yes, maybe him and Sean Cassidy are hanging out together again. If he catches my drift.
We must probe deeper.
Yes, Moira may be part of that trifecta. But anyway, so we get to he's unable to get in there. We see he asks Cerebro to figure out why he can't penetrate their minds. And when he used that word, because I think it's funny. And we've discovered that Emma Frost is using a combination of her own powers and the technology to keep him out. So that's when he says to Cerebro, keep probing, I need a rest, which is pretty funny. It's funny because normally I'm the one to pick up that stuff. I don't think I even did at that point. Maybe it's because I usually watch these things in the morning when I do cardio, which is right after I wake up. So it's very possible it's too tired to click, but that's hilarious. So you see there's not a lot going on in this episode, but fun stuff anyway. So the X-Men are chained up in the Inner Circles Club. Well, Jean Grey is basically initiated as the Black Queen, in quotes, of the club.
You doubted my work. Admit it, you were wrong.
I like Shaw's voice in this a lot.
Mm-hmm. It suits him. Like nobody likes Sebastian Shaw.
We get some shirtless Shaw action in this, which is pretty great too.
Yep.
So yeah, they're initiating her into the Black Queen in the club. Basically, the X-Men are on standby. Essentially, Leland and other people want to just kill them, but then Shaw says that they can use them for experiments or whatever it is they do. That's very vague at this Inner Circle Club.
They control the world. They wield power, Andre.
Wolverine's believed to be dead, as he got Leland used his gravity powers to sink him through the floor earlier into the water. So there's some of the little henchmen guys go down looking for him. Can't find him, but it appears as though he is still alive, in which he comes out. Oh, I saw your name, Sebastian Shaw. That's great. Last week I was Sebastian Chandre.
And you're Harry Little Andre. We're just the inner jerkles today, aren't we?
Ooh, I like that. How long have you been holding on to that one?
Oh, about 45 minutes.
No, it's a good one. So Wolverine pops out of the water, just quickly dispatches the guards. Then he manages to go back inside, get back upstairs, and dispatch a bunch more guards. And also, we have that lovely meme picture of him taking a turkey leg.
But before we get there,
I know what you're thinking, punk.
Question is,
can I get Wolverine before he turns me into shish kebab with those claws? Well, Bob, seeing as how these claws are adamantium, the strongest metal known, and can slice through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter, buddy, you gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky?
Don't worry, you can still talk about this later, because I'm also going to talk about this later. We're going to talk about that scene a lot later.
Well, it's pretty obvious where it comes from if you know anything about movies.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's also like it feels a bit like filler. Like that's a pretty long little sequence for just a Wolverine barb and a slight reference to a popular movie.
Strong disagree, and I'll tell you why later.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to wait. Tell me now.
No, you have to wait for our lives to be over.
Well, I'm leaving. Goodbye, sir.
Oh.
All right, I'm back. I can't say man to you.
I missed you.
So he gets back inside and is beating up various Hellfire Inner Circle Club members as they're arguing over power struggle in the group. Meanwhile, Cyclops tries
Really power-hungry madmen all arguing over power. I can't imagine.
pretty much we get a lot of that this episode. Basically,
It's true. It's like the whole episode.
yeah. So I don't know when this happens exactly. I normally have the episode up. I didn't to scroll through as we're talking, but and I guess I could do that again. But basically, we see Cyclops trying to use a psychic connection he has to reach out to Jean. Emma detects that this is happening, and you basically sends. Oh my God, my brain stopped working. Sends Wynegard. That's right. That's Mastermind, right? Yeah, Mastermind.
Yeah.
Wynegard back. They only really refer to him as Wynegard in this. They don't really refer to him as Mastermind.
I've introduced her to dark emotions she had never dreamed of. She wants more.
Oh, good. You just gave me an idea for one of my points for later.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, they go back in. Basically, Mastermind, Cyclops is Mastermind and Cyclops have a duel inside.
Oh, hold on! You skipped the most important part of the episode.
Did I?
Where's my Chateau Calamari 59?
I was going to bring that up, but I couldn't remember when that happened. I thought that was later.
No, that's right before the Cyclops thing.
Okay, so yeah.
Where's my Chateau Calamari 59?
Hey, that's a wine. So what kind of wine is called calamari? Which means
maybe it's a
squid.
region in Italy.
It is not, sir. It is.
Okay.
It is the name for squid. Lebowski, come on.
I know that too, but
Lebowski
they can be both. Things can be both.
Say hi, Lebowski.
Oh, hey, Lebowski.
Let's be part of the show. He's going to get Millie.
No, Millie left. I was gonna grab Millie. Jeez, they all left me. Miles was here too. Ungrateful. Yeah.
So they, So that's that was the guy's chef that was trying to get the right bottle of wine, which Wolverine came up to the dumbwaiter, beat him up, and a bunch more people.
Wolverine's just like that. Kind of a bad year.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is about that, Wolverine's so old that he's probably tasted so many better years.
And that's when he goes over and cuts a piece off the turkey as well, which we see in the lovely little meme that's been used quite a bit with the turkey. It's also the background of this episode.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have some photographs of that. There it is.
Yep. So he sliced it off. He's hungry. He went through a gravity attack and then wandered his way through the Inner Circle Club fighting people. He needs some energy to continue fighting.
And there was the awesome shot of Wolverine.
That is a very nice shot of him in the coming out of the water, which is cool too.
It's
funny because you think a guy that would weigh 300 pounds usually does whenever you see those like power listings because of his adamantium skeleton would just sink like a stone. You can't be buoyant if you have that much metal in you.
Water is a bit of an Achilles heel with Wolverine. Like drowning him is pretty much the only way you can kill him.
He seems to have no real problem getting out of the water in this one. So,
well, it looks to be only knee deep.
Well,
for most people, waist deep for Wolverine.
No, because he throws the guards in and then they get washed away. So maybe it helped them from not getting washed away, perhaps. Anyway. So we kept back to old Wynegard, who has a battle with Scott inside Jean's mind. Yeah, he challenged him to a duel by slapping.
Hold on, I have that,
which is very funny.
I thought it was time we ended our little game, Mr. Summers. A duel, no quarter asked, none given.
So aristocratic. None asked, none given.
None given.
A duel, and just a slap to the face. All right, I'm gonna log in and do this the right way since we have some fun activity happening here.
Say what now?
I'm just gonna bring up the show so I can scroll through it and talk about it.
Okay.
Instead of going for my memory.
Oh,
because you're getting ahead of me and I'm not getting there, and
I'm getting ahead of you.
You're getting ahead of me. I can't chastise you for that unless I have the proper reference here to remind myself exactly how far ahead of me you're getting.
I'm sure I was ahead of nothing.
You're always ahead of me in the show. Repeatedly, continuously, over and over again. It is a bane of my existence. I'm angry. I'm going to close my thing again. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so where are we at here?
To be having a 30th anniversary spectacular.
Oh, it's a good time. It's a good time. So So basically, we see that Shaw is becoming a little taken with. I'm going to scroll back to when Wolverine beats up those guards, comes out of the water. We see Shaw is becoming a little taken with the Black Queen as well, And there's a little bit of dissent amongst the inner circle when it seems like Shaw might be wanting her for himself as well. You know, Wynegard, of course, laying the groundwork for her mental attack, making her under their power. All that stuff is sort of involved with that as well. But there's a bit of dissent between them. We see Cyclops trying to reach out to Jean Grey. And that's when, we get the calamari bit where Wolverine comes to the dumbwaiter. I'm just skimming back, catching us back up to the moment we're at. They have a big dinner. It's funny because like the X-Men are like wearing these collars, which are making them subservient. They're all just standing around watching the inner circle have dinner and argue and like they don't put them in quarters where they just make them stand by for whatever they're going to use them for, experiments or something later.
I laughed out loud when you see them, and you see them all collared and stuff first, and then it pans over to them just eating dinner.
Yeah, they're sitting around a table, like making a toast, and Scott's trying to reach out to Jean. Jean has a moment of faltering where Scott's getting through to her, and there's like a connection. So that's when Emma puts Wynegard in her brain. Wynegard challenges Scott to duel. Scott realizes his powers don't work in this world because Wynegard basically controls it all. It's very unfair because Wynegard's controlling everything. Like when they're having this sword fight, Wynegard's making like stairs come up behind Scott and big holes open and his sword not work and a brick wall come up in front of him. So he really is at a disadvantage in this situation. But it is probably the first time I think we see Scott without his glasses and without his eyes being red. So I think it might be the first time in the show we see him looking completely normal, and it's strange. He doesn't look right. But anyway,
she happened one other time because she say something to him like, "I never dreamed your eyes would be so beautiful." Something like that.
Yeah, maybe so. But
I think it happened once before in the show.
He does, but he does look, like with animation, most people look the same. So he looks, especially in the sword fight, Wynegard puts him in sort of a pioneer costume almost, and Scott kind of has a ponytail, so he kind of looks like
they're like pirates.
Gambit a little bit here, but yeah, it's very piratey. Wolverine has a funny line too. Did you have that one where he first sees all the inner circle guys? He goes, "Where do you guys shop for your clothing?"
No, I don't have that one.
He goes, "Where do these guys do their shopping?" When he comes up and starts beating them all up.
I got
the rapture of destruction for the pleasure of the Phoenix, the unbound joy of evil.
The unbound joy.
Lebowski's being very cute right now. He just put his paw. He has his paw under his chin like this, and he's sleeping on my foot with his paw on top of my foot.
Lebowski.
He wants attention, but I'm too busy here on this show. You see what you're doing? You're damaging my relationship with my cat. I'm kidding. He's very happy. So actually, Cyclops does manage to even beat Wynegard in the dream, but Wynegard's power sort of overtakes Cyclops, and he slashed him through the chest. Basically, he has a bit of an altercation with the Black Queen trying to reach to her through as Jean, but she's well into Wynegard's power. Wynegard comes out, stabs Cyclops. Cyclops falls to the ground in the real world because his psychic form has been killed, I guess, which means he should die. But the X-Men are worried about him, but he's still alive, and they're quite surprised because of his deep psychic connection to Jean Grey. Well, it seems as though the Phoenix is in the driver's seat. Jean Grey's still somewhere in between, and that connection to her is keeping Cyclops from perishing.
Leland, you unmitigated fool! You swore to me that Wolverine had drowned!
Well, you're still getting... actually, no, I guess you're kind of at the... You're a bit ahead of me.
He's coming in.
Not quite yet, because...
Thought I nailed it.
Yeah, you did. It's a good scene, but Phoenix is starting to manifest her power and work beyond, which is something that the inner circle was worried that Wynegard wouldn't be able to control her. But Jean kind of breaks through, unwilling to hurt them any further. And then when the circle tried to sort of work their power over her, she gets out of control. But then Wolverine busts in, and then that whole scene. So Wolverine does have a funny bit earlier too, where he says, "Let's play pickup sticks." When he cuts their batons and then throws them down the stairs. A lot of Wolverine slashing stuff in this episode, which is fun.
Here's Johnny.
So Wynegard directs the Black Queen to attack Wolverine, which he does. She knocks him over. The X-Men are still incapacitated by the collars. Wolverine tries to get up, but is unable. At this point, basically, as the X-Men are all defeated, mastermind Wynegard, if you will, comes up and challenges Shaw for leader of the Inner Circle, saying that he's controlling Jean Grey now. He should be in charge. And then the rest of the Inner Circle vote. Do you have any of this audio?
I have this.
No one can control the power of the Phoenix.
That's a bit ahead.
Who can control her, and she's just like, none of you can. Wahaha.
That's a little later on, but anyway, the rest of them vote against Shaw being in charge. So they all vote thumbs down, so that Wynegard is now in charge, including Shaw, who comes up to the White Queen, who is
everyone hates Sebastian Shaw.
Well, Frost and him does seem to have more of a personal relationship, but then she saw how taken he was with the Black Queen earlier, and she votes down as well. Which is always sad that they resort to this. Anytime a woman is jilted, she immediately becomes like, has to. It's one of the I have a lot of complaints with X-Men 3.
Hell hath no fury.
That one alone is number one, I don't think Magneto would just drop her because she's not a mutant anymore. Like that. But also, I don't think that she would suddenly give up all the information she has on Magneto and everybody else after two and a half movies of being as loyal.
Well, I mean, Mystique would. She doesn't really have.
I don't know. It seems pretty dumb. So anyway, while this is happening,
those movies are generally pretty dumb.
Oh well, that one is. 1 and 2, I think, are masterpieces. 2 especially, but 3 is really
masterpieces. Bad. But okay. Movies.
Oh fuck you! You're never gonna get you got the X-Men you want here, and if anything in a movie form is not this, you're gonna hate it.
No way. Just wait. I have faith in what's coming.
I don't think you do. I think you're going to be unhappy no matter what happens.
Oh, I don't think
you're
so.
A bitter, angry man, Davan Skelhorn.
Oh, I'm very easy to please. I loved She-Hulk.
So I got to finish that, but I love what I've seen so far. So anyway, Jean goes over and then has a moment of remembering who Wolverine is, breaking through Phoenix, basically, and remembering all those moments before where they had these tender moments together. 3 is total garbage, but two is the best one by far in a really, really good movie. I'd say masterpiece for sure.
It's a good movie.
So great in it. Damn right he is. Everybody's great in it. So she's starting to break a little bit. Wynegard comes over and tries to reaffirm his control over her, but she sort of breaks free of it because this is where your clip was, where she says no one can control me. The Phoenix, she has all flamed out and busts through the ceiling. Cyclops tries to reach out to her a little bit, but she says that Jean's not there. It's it's Phoenix. She busts through the wall, and then as she does so, or the ceiling to disappear, she makes the shackles on the X-Men disappear, saying that let all these people battle out. She's sick of sort of playing these sides, so she basically lets the X-Men free so that they can deal with their own problem. They have this really epic fight with the Inner Circle. It's pretty great.
Thanks, mon ami. Leave the others to gamble. I hang on to this one.
That's because Shaw goes to attack them using his powers, but Cyclops just blows the floor out underneath him, so he falls. And that's when Gambit says that line and runs off, basically ready to fight others. We see Storm.
Oh no, he wants to hang out with Emma. He's flirting with Emma at the same time. He's like, I'll take this one.
Well, Emma is fighting with Storm, I believe, at this point.
No. When Gambit
literally look. Oh yeah, he does walk over to her and she shoots him down.
Yeah.
But then she gets attacked
from
behind by Storm.
Rise and sweep the thorns from our path.
Are you getting money from Toronto Maple Leafs? Are you endorsing Maple Leafs attire on our show here? I mean, I don't think we should give away free advertising.
No.
They
don't deserve my endorsement.
Well, this is why hockey's broken. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the most profitable hockey team in the entire NHL by far, and they haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1967 or 3. 7. So yes,
even worse.
So they lose every year, but they still make more money than any other team by far. So that's interesting. That just shows the loyalty.
They've all but lost to me. I don't really watch it.
Oh, who cares? I don't watch sports anyway. It's all I watch. Fake sports is where it's at. So anyway, the X-Men get in the fight with the Inner Circle. Rogue rips off Buddy's fake arm there. Pierce.
You want to hear the greatest contrast between two X-Men characters in the way they approach battle and combatants?
Sure.
Forgive me, Mr. Shaw, for dropping in uninvited. There's a fat pig who dumped me in the sewer.
Pretty great. That's a great combo.
Yeah, those two.
So,
they'd be the best buddy cop movie ever. Those two.
that would be pretty great. I would definitely watch a show with a similar vibe. So, the henchmen get involved. Storm's taking them out. They're having one-on-one fights with various members of the Inner Circle. Storm used her wind powers to blow the henchmen away.
Yeah,
I know you probably have this.
Blow the thorns from my path.
Beast goes down and is using his feet to kind of just rotate Shaw in circles, so he can't.
Thinking it's not going to activate his powers,
but actually kind of does because it still is kinetic energy. So Shaw manages to use it to throw Beast aside and then go to crush him with a table. Storm comes in and freezes him with her ice powers, basically stopping him. But he manages to power through, throw Beast to Storm and get her out of the way, and then he disappears behind a fake sliding bookshelf. You
gotta have one of those.
We also see Pierce gets his arm ripped off by Rogue. He manages to escape behind another bookshelf as well.
I got that.
They're the only two that
I bet these cybernetic things cost an arm and a leg.
She ripped off his arm.
Yeah.
Then
just great.
The police show up and a bunch of the Inner Circle members escape out the front door, including the White Queen and Leland. Well, the other two get away that way. Then Wynegard escapes to the roof where he finds Phoenix, who is kind of figuring herself out. She attacks Wynegard for trying to control her, strips away the facade that he puts on using his powers and showing that he's sort of this old, ugly-looking dude. He's not really that ugly. He's just kind of skinny and long, kind of greasy hair.
Greasy. He's just kind of a greaser.
Yeah, a little bit. He's certainly not as handsome as he appeared to be to everyone else, but she used her powers to basically go and trap him within his own mind. It looks like she gave him a stroke, actually. His face is all like...
Yeah, well, I might talk about that later. Actually, I'll just talk about it now. She gave him a glimpse of cosmic awareness, and that's been used to mess up many a mind in the Marvel Universe.
Let the world see how truly ugly you are.
Then she, Cyclops comes up on the roof and tries to reason with her, and then she becomes the Dark Phoenix. Announces herself as such, and then we get it to be continued card as her costume is turned red, and we get the giant phoenix behind her.
I am the Dark Phoenix.
Which is such a weird way to introduce yourself. That's like calling yourself I am the evil Andre. It's, I don't know. It's strange to announce yourself with a pronoun that implies your intentions because nobody thinks they're evil.
Did I skip this clip?
I've introduced her to dark emotions she had never dreamed of. She wants more.
Oh, yeah, I did play that. So that's the origin of the Dark Phoenix right there. Wynegard created the Dark Phoenix by feeding it dark emotions instead of just the nice, pleasant emotions it was getting from Jean Grey. It was a very nice person.
I mean, it should have a little everything. Shouldn't it be balanced?
Well, I mean, not when it comes to the Phoenix. It feeds on the negative emotions, apparently. Yeah, so that was the end. Good episode, but how good? Let's discuss it.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
To your heart, Andre.
9.
I'm going to go 10.
Oh.
But I have a little extra appreciation for this episode for a reason we'll discuss.
I do like that it was... I didn't notice in the last episode, I'm sure they probably had it, but that they have the story by Chris Claremont credit, which is cool.
Yes, and I'm going to get into that.
Oh, they didn't have that in the previous episodes?
Well, this one in particular... Well, look, let's just get into it. Let's get into the X points. Boom. All right, who wants to go first?
No, it doesn't matter to me. You can go first if you want.
All right, go for it.
So Jean Grey's descent into the Dark Phoenix is mostly based around the Phoenix wanting to feel emotions and pleasures and all these sensory things that have been experienced before, which is very similar to a certain group of Cenobites that appear in the Hellraiser films. I just watched the new one last night, and which is the Hellraiser. The Pinhead is now called the Priest.
With all female Cenobites, is it?
They're not all female. Just the Pinhead is a female now. I think that's the only real shift. Because I think the Chatterer and a few of the other ones are still males. But yeah, Pinhead, I believe they call the priest or the priestess now, and then I think it's just the priest. And yeah, but the idea behind this, like that, there's this thin line between pain and pleasure, and that experiencing anything and everything, and all this dark emotions and these weird feelings, and manipulating nerves, and bringing to the threshold of pain where it crosses with pleasure is kind of interesting. And I got vibes of that with some of this Dark Phoenix stuff. Maybe just I just watched the movie, but it does kind of resonate, that similar Clive Barker-y idea to me, which is kind of cool. So it's a neat little thing that may, if you're a horror fan, that may resonate with you as well. Also, watch the new Hellraiser movie. It's pretty good. If you like the old ones, you like this one.
All right, I'll check it out. I like the first one.
If you like the first, you like this one. Bigger budget. Certainly a more sprawling story, like a much bigger story than just contained in this small little house. And no Garrick in it, sadly. Andrew Robinson.
But one of the reasons I love the first one.
I know. But it is the idea behind what it is, and scoping out, giving more of a reason to what the Cenobites worship. The Leviathan itself plays out into this a little more too. But yeah, it's good. It certainly plays into some of those themes a lot more than the old one did.
All right. I'm going to go with this one. Give no quarter. Mm-hmm. So that was an old military saying. And
it was.
Give no quarter meant that any prisoners would be put to death because they weren't going to house and feed you, essentially. So they just announced that right away. If you're going to surrender, that's what's going to happen to you. Give no quarter and ask none in return. Normally, a red flag would be flown if you're going to give no quarter. And also, giving no quarter became illegal in 1907 at the Hague Convention.
So you had to take prisoners of war?
Yeah.
Always interesting to me of that, because who polices that?
Well, the international courts, that's when they charge people with war crimes after
NATO or whatever.
That's what a war crime is.
I get it, but how can you ever prove that?
We can get evidence on war crimes. That's not hard.
Well, it depends. Someone has to testify. You just kill everybody. This is why
you don't need people to testify if you have evidence.
What evidence? Burn the bodies.
Get evidence.
No.
Oh my God. Look, I can cite several real-world examples.
I know, but it's because they're sloppy. They're sloppy. Listen, if you want to run a dictatorship,
evil is inherently sloppy.
Give me a call, and I will make sure that your war crimes go unannounced.
Oh my God! All right, moving on. What's your next X point? It better not be about war crimes going unpunished.
It's about war crimes unpunished. Well, I guess we should talk about Wolverine's little speech, which is obviously inspired by Dirty Harry. Particularly from the it's the Magnum speech from, I believe, Dirty Harry, which was the second Dirty Harry film.
Yeah, it's I called this clip when I clipped it Dirty Logan.
Makes sense.
All right.
So what do you have to say about it?
Well, as you recognize this image.
Sure do.
Yeah. So a good third of this episode is taken directly from the Dark Phoenix saga.
Awesome.
Except instead of just growling when you see that shot of him in the sewers, he says, "Okay, suckers, you've taken your best shot. Now it's my turn." And that's like, now it's my turn.
Was he put in the sewers the same way by Wynegard or
Leland through the floor? Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And then the same scene of him taunting the guy. I'm going to read the whole thing here. It's only going to take me a second, but it's
was the inner circle,
and you'll see the differences.
Was the inner circle part of, were they established in the X-Men books before they became involved in the Dark Phoenix, or was this their introduction?
No, they were introduced, but not super long before. They were first introduced with like when Kitty Pryde came in, I think. Okay. Which was like, and she comes in, she joins the school at the end of this Dark Phoenix story, actually, but like she had premiered probably like, I think it was like 10 or 15 issues before. Something like that. So Wolverine, you get his inner monologue, and he says, he's scared. Can't say as I blame him either. Let's see if I can't make him feel worse. Then he says, hey, bub, I know what you're thinking. He's hurting. He's 5 meters away from me. and I got a full clip of ammo in my rifle. Question is, can I kill Wolverine before he can reach me and cut me into shish kebab with those freaky claws of his? Well, bub, Wolverine is virtually unkillable. Wolverine's claws are adamantium, the strongest metal known, capable of slicing through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter. And 5 meters of floor ain't much distance at all for me. It's your play, hero. I'm waiting. And then Buddy drops his gun and runs, and Wolverine says, shoot, I was hoping you'd go for it. And then Wolverine tackles him, and Buddy's just like, no, I surrender. Wolverine's just like, don't worry, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not even going to hurt you. And he picks him up over his head, because people forget how actually strong Wolverine's, like, crazy strong. He's just like, as long as you tell me everything I want to know. Anyway, it's legendary. See, there it all is there. And he's just taunting him.
Yeah. We're combining our points for this one, right?
Yeah. Well, no,
that's fine. That makes sense. It's good. No, we can combine them. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We both talked about the same thing. That's it. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, the Dirty Harry thing is a fun little cultural nod.
Like even Cyclops' like
outfit is very similar. Yeah, it's all like very
it's all there. And there's the fencing.
I wish Nightcrawler was in the regular.
And that's why this is like my favorite issue of the Dark Phoenix saga.
Wolverine references something
which pretty much copy it.
So. Well, being that they copied that speech, this is my next point because I looked it up, so I was curious. And that may explain why they used the phrase they did. But I think it's kind of lofty for you to throw in a phrase like vanadium steel in a kids show, because I don't think kids know what vanadium steel is. I don't think adults know what vanadium steel is.
I wasn't aware of vanadium.
Vanadium steel is a steel alloy which contains
small amounts
of the element vanadium, which is used in structural steels. Vanadium steel is lighter, stronger, and more durable than any other steel alloy. So it's used in automotive manufacturing, pipelines, buildings, bridges, and heavy machinery. So it is a very strong, durable material that will fall like a knife through butter with Wolverine's adamantium claws. But vanadium steel is real and exists in the real world. Adamantium.
Okay, back to me. All right. Here's one. Did you notice this? That's Jean Grey, right? Mm-hmm. Jean Grey. All right. This also Jean Grey. Mm-hmm. Notice the difference?
Yeah, she has a little spot on her cheek.
Yeah, where does the mole come from?
They draw it on.
They just like that's like a
no. I think it really is supposed to be like the Marie Antoinette, like draw on the spot, the beauty mark spot, like with the powder wig and all that sort of thing. Yes.
Okay.
It's stupid. It's shaped like a heart. You'll notice when they do close.
It is. Yeah. I just thought it was funny. The mystery mole.
The spike collar is an interesting combination too, because you turn your head the wrong way, you slice yourself open.
Yeah. Well, people wear them, especially in the 90s.
Certainly does seem to be very like bondagey, and it's funny that when Dave was here and you guys know all the stuff about the club, how they have these sort of weird sex parties, that's sort of part of this, which I think is interesting. My next note will be because I thought it was interesting, I don't think we addressed it yet, is Stranger Things. In the last season of the show, the kids that play Dungeons and Dragons belong to a group called the Hellfire Club, which was inspired partially by its the connection to the X-Men comics, which I believe at this time period, because that show would be nearing the mid to late 80s at this point with the kids' ages, would be when the series came out. So it's obviously a nod towards the X-Men as well. I mean, obviously they use it to reference their D&D club, but I think it is a subtle nod towards the X-Men and what's going on in that as well. I don't know if I can't remember if they overtly show an X-Men comic or anything like that in it, but I do think it's certainly inspired by it. Because it's something that the town uses to rally against them when thinking that they're like Satanists or something, because their group's called the Hellfire Club.
Okay, very cool.
Which is not used in this show.
Like,
but
what year are they in at that point in the show?
Well, they must be getting close to the end of the 80s, I assume.
Yeah, see, and that's when that's peak X-Men popularity.
Yeah.
So that makes total sense. So I consulted the sacred tome above me, the art and making of
Bible. You're talking about the Bible, right? The Holy
Book. Yes, art and making of the animated series by Eric and Julia Lewald. Eric wanted Jean to die a hero's death at the end of this story.
And
Well, we know if you've seen any episode past this in the series that that's not going to happen. But spoiler alert, but Jean's not dying for the rest of the show.
What?
But that's what no.
Well, I know what's going to happen. Nothing means anything. What's the point of watching this show now?
Oh, you knew. You knew.
I don't know nothing.
Well,
and don't you presume to think that I do, sir?
Maybe I should have saved that X point for a couple of episodes from now. But oh well. I consulted the tome. I passed on the tome's
pretty
wisdom.
solid tome.
Last X point.
The battle, the big fight between all of the inner circle and the X-Men is pretty cool. There's a lot of use of powers. There's a lot of really fun fighting. You got a shirtless Shaw, just all jacked to the tits. Is
once again Storm
up, kicking ass,
proving she can handle the.
It was kind of neat watching the X-Men, work together with the work together with the rest of the X-Men and sort of like them all working together against another group of superpowered individuals. It kind of reminded me of the fight with X Factor a few episodes ago, which is kind of fun. It was fun as well. Mm-hmm. So, it was neat seeing that and happening in action. Also, I like the reference to when Shaw gets mad at it's a mastermind, I think, for just being a low-grade mutant. He says, if you think we're going to let some low-grade mutant run the inner circle. So, implying that Shaw.
Yeah, he says you just have like illusion powers. Like you can create.
Is Shaw not
tricks.
A mutant?
No, Shaw's a mutant, but he thinks he's a
low-level mutant. I see.
And Shaw is quite powerful. You can't really hurt him. Not easily.
Mm. Yeah, so that's I thought that was interesting.
Okay, well, my last one, I'm going to kind of clarify something we've talked about before on the show, and hopefully we can get Larry Houston on one day to really explain this stuff to us. So there were two animation studios at first, ACOM and also PASI, Posse. I don't know, PASI. I don't know how you would say the acronym. And both of them were fine. So they had two good studios going. And the funny story is the Posse or whatever it's called. It's like I think it was out of the Philippines maybe, or South Korea or something like that. But anyway, they really wanted to impress and get more business from the show, so they put a bunch of their first episodes were the Lady Deathstrike episodes.
Oh, okay. And which is when we noticed the
animation got really good.
Dipping, yeah.
So they were trying to impress with those episodes, but what they did was they were really super impressed. So they changed the design. They changed Lady Deathstrike's design and gave her big cleavage because they thought people would like that. And they gave her a low cut shirt down to her navel. So it came back and it got denied by the studio, by Fox. They're like, we can't put that on the air, and it wasn't even what they were sent. Like they were.
Yeah, Lady Deathstrike's tits out during this whole episode.
Yeah, that animation studio was sent a flat-chested Lady Deathstrike with like a shirt up to here.
Yeah.
So they had to send it back and get it redone that way.
Ridiculous. That's really funny.
Yeah.
All right, we've reached the end of our segment.
I guess that is the end of our segment. So sad
sure
to
is.
see it go.
It was a great episode, I must say.
Yeah, it really was. I think it deserved the 10 I gave it. All right, next.
Hey, check this out.
Hey, check this out. These are our comic reminiscences and recommendations segment.
Is yours still the second issue of the Dark Phoenix saga?
Well, actually, it's skipped in the actual issues. At the point we get to in this episode, that's 3 issues of comic. Because there's the Dazzler one, then there's another one, and then there's the one that I was just showing off. So there is more meat to the comic version, as there always is. But I am going to recommend... Hold on, where did that go? One sec. You start. You go first.
What? Okay.
Yeah, you go first.
Well, I want to recommend this because it just arrived today. I haven't seen it ready yet, but I want to suggest this series. So Ed Brubaker is a rather famous comic book writer who does a lot of crime comics. He also did some notable runs in a lot of superhero books, X-Men as well, I believe, for a while. And Gotham Central and other books like that. However, he does have a series of creator-owned books he does for Image based on the Reckless series, it's called. The new issue just came out. Follow Me Down.
Brubaker? Excellent
Yes.
writer.
So Reckless is this is the 5th book in the series. It just came out. Well, I just got it today, but I think it just came out this week. It follows a character named Ethan Reckless, who is operates out of a movie theater and is the kind of person that does jobs for people that they need. If they need someone, someone's being bothered, if they're in trouble, they come to him and he helps them. He operates out of an old movie theater in the 70s, or 80s, I think it's 70s, in Hollywood. And whoever has a friend of it, he's kind of like a modern day Paladin, if you remember Have Gun Will Travel or any of those shows, where he just helps those who need help and is kind of a badass along the way. It's a really fun character, really cool books. They've dealt with and all the titles are based on old movies and stuff. Like the last one's called Destroy All Monsters, which is a reference to the Godzilla films. But each series kind of they take place in the 80s, right? But his theater house shows a lot of old movies. He has like a kind of a sidekick that's a projectionist at his theater. And he just takes different cases. They had one that was sort of a nod to Elvira recently. They had one that was sort of a nod to like the Satanic Panic from the 80s as well. And each episode or each issue is a self-contained kind of story, but you can read them all and follow it that way as well about the overarching story of this character. Beautiful, fun, amazing crime books that would make for an awesome TV show. I hope they're paying attention, because if this was a Prime show, it'd be fucking amazing. So, Reckless. The Reckless series, read all of them. They're all amazing. But number 5 just came out.
All right.
What do you got?
Well, the specific issue I think people should read. I read the whole Dark Phoenix saga, of course, but the specific issue I was showing off with all that awesome Wolverine stuff is Uncanny X-Men number 132.
Look at that shirtless shot. Look at him back there.
I know,
His
isn't
little
he
waist
gorgeous?
scarf.
Yeah. Check it out.
I mean,
Winner
I feel
of
like we
5
just watched
Eagle
it.
Awards. What?
Didn't we just watch the second episode essentially?
Yeah, basically. But read it anyway. There's more there. And I'm also going to recommend, Worlds Are Colliding. I'm going to talk about my beloved Star Trek for a minute, because the character, perhaps second only to Spider-Man in the entire history of literature, perhaps not even second to Spider-Man, Benjamin Sisko is back.
Man,
Back
I don't
from
want to
the-
read it in a comic. Put it in a show. I know my friend that's big into Star Trek was telling me this today, because he was driving with me on the trip we just did. Just give me the comic. I want to see him on the show. Put him on Picard. Do something with him.
This is gonna be a lead-in. Like there's been rumors they've been trying to get Avery back. We'll see.
Just
You know,
drive
he's
a
not-
dump truck full of money up to his house. That's what you do.
He's a Renaissance man. He doesn't care about money.
Well,
The
give
only
him
person more
money.
interesting than Benjamin Sisko is Avery Brooks. And Avery Brooks is freaking fascinating. But anyway, check it out. Star Trek number 1. The Sisko is back. He's on a team with Data, Beverly Crusher. It's very cool.
So how does he back? Is he just came back out of the wormhole, or
The
out
Prophet
the
sent him out of
Prophet?
the temple, yeah, because there's trouble brewing that they need him to go fix.
Oh, it's doings are transpiring, is there?
There's doings a transpiring. Absolutely there is. So, yep, very interesting. All right, let's move along. My remote with Andre. Give us a movie recommendation, Andre. Maybe don't spoil my movie podcast this time. Go. I'll be right back.
What did I give you your movie? What did I spoil for your movie podcast?
Because we were featuring the Tingler and Matinee, and you're like, let's talk about Tingler and Matinee.
Oh, well, I think it was just Matinee specifically.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
so I Sunday went to a double bill in Halifax, in which the Propel Brew were showing 2 films that I love dearly. The first one being Ernest Scared Stupid, which is the first one of the Ernest films in which Ernest battles a troll that turns kids into little wooden dolls. It was a lot of fun little movie. But the second movie in that double bill was the one I want to talk about, which is a very good movie. It was one of the few movies directed by creature effects artist Stan Winston. featuring Lance Henriksen. It is the
Are
incomparable.
we talking about Pumpkinhead?
Pumpkinhead, which
Pumpkinhead. Yeah, I love Pumpkinhead.
Which is the creature design. It's a great movie. It's a fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it years ago, but I just rewatched it at this outdoor screening in Halifax, and it was fantastic. It is. It still holds up. It's still great. Me and my friend used to always joke. He came with me to watch it, and we watched it together years ago. But how much his son is like this. They're always depicted as this lovely music, and he's just so cute and adorable. And they keep like just hammering home how cute and adorable this little kid is. So you really are sad when he dies. But they do an amazing job on the movie. It's the creature effects alone on the Pumpkinhead is neat. The myth behind it, and the sort of idea that when you go seeking revenge, dig two graves, that really hammers home in this. Is interesting, and it's an important lesson. It's not often that horror movies actually have a point. I'm not saying this one is like super nuanced, but it is an important point to make that seeking revenge isn't always the best way, and sometimes you need to have time to grieve instead of creating a demon to go after the city folks that accidentally killed your kid.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good movie. Also, another recommendation.
I like that one.
It is a good one from the time period, but something recent that I just picked up that you should watch if you haven't is Nope. Go watch it. It's very good.
I haven't seen it yet, so don't spoil it. Say no more. I want to.
Well, it turns out they were unicorns instead of aliens. It was quite the swap. So, but I think you'll just pretend to be. I'm kidding. It's not true.
Popular pick for a rogue in the MCU is in that movie, as I recall.
Oh, the sister, Kiki Palmer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she would be good for rogue.
She has a southern accent. I saw her on Hot Ones because I hadn't seen her in any movies, but I saw her on Hot Ones. And man, she if she just plays herself, that's basically rogue.
Well, she has a kind of a bit of a southern draw in this a little bit. Like
they
run a they're a black.
She's got a southern accent for sure.
They're a black family that runs a horse farm that do horses that are used in movies. Is the two main characters sort of role in it, and it's a very interesting movie. It does something different with something that should be really familiar, and it's something I've never seen before, which is rare for me. So I was very impressed, and I really liked it.
Very cool. I look forward to seeing that one soon.
Also, fun dollar store find since it's right in front of me. Warren Ellis's run on Secret Avengers was at the dollar store. That's what I found.
Oh
today.
Man, there's another great run on Secret Avengers. That's not that one. I'm trying to think.
Brubaker's? Brubaker did a bunch of them.
No, it's a funnier one. It's got like MODOK in it a ton. Oh, I forget. Anyway, I'll make that a comic recommendation here one of these days.
Yeah.
What were you doing? Playing with matches?
It's 16-bit gaming with Super Nintendo Skelhorn. Tonight I'm gonna talk about the most relaxing experience in the history of video games, and also very challenging. No, the original Donkey Kong Country. When this game came out, it changed the world. Like, this is all my freaking 12-year-old or whatever age I was, maybe even probably younger. That's all my little mind could think about was how bad I wanted Donkey Kong Country, because we hadn't seen anything like it. The commercials about it, the music, the graphics, all from their relationship with Rareware. It's amazing. It holds up so well to this day. Yeah, there are other great Donkey Kong Country games, and some prefer the playability of other ones, but I don't think it ever tops this. Donkey Kong Country. The music is just so relaxing to play. I just can't stress that enough. It's beautiful. The sound is just so good. Yeah, if you haven't played it, do yourself a favor. It holds up in every way. Go play Donkey Kong Country. All right.
I love this game. I used to play them all the time. It's good.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Plus, Candy Kong. Don't forget about it.
Oh well, can't forget about it.
One sexy gorilla.
Jeez, we're making good time tonight.
I know it's good because I'm tired.
Yeah, well, we started late. All right, let's. Well, there is something we got to do here. We already talked about it, but we're going to talk about it some more.
Bring it on.
Hey, look who I find coming to join the party.
Glad y'all decided to join the party.
All right, this time we're going to party like it's apostrophe 97. Yeah. Because I have a theory. Oh wait, is that a different segment?
I've got a theory that it's a
It was-
demon, a dancing demon, or something's not quite right there. I've got a theory. Some people's dreaming, and we're all stuck inside his wacky voodoo nightmare. I got a theory. We should work this out.
That was really nice, Andre.
You know what that's from?
No.
It's getting eerie. What's this dreary singing all about?
Oh, is it from Nightmare Before Christmas?
No, it's from Buffy, the episode that's all sung. What's
Oh.
more with feeling? Let's name that episode.
You know, controversial opinion. That show does not hold up.
You don't hold up.
My partner's been rewatching it, and it's like it's painful. Kind of.
I don't know if I would agree with that. I would like to go back and give that a go, and I may someday do so.
Anyway, the reason I want to party like it's Posture 97 because I have a theory. I have a theory now because I've been saying how I think this X-Men 97 series is going to tie into the MCU. I'm positive it will, and I think I know how. So,
There's
not
no way you're
not
ever gonna
entirely
convince-
how.
There's no way
What?
you're ever going to convince me that the animated series is going to have anything beyond maybe being a parallel universe somewhere in the Marvel multiverse.
Well, the X-Men may come into it from a parallel universe. Who even knows? But what I think is going to happen is they're going to establish this team, the 92 team, the 97 team, however it's changed. I guess Nightcrawler and Psylocke are a bigger part of it. And those characters will be the senior X-Men. Because the last thing the MCU wants to do is do an origin of the original team again. We don't need the Cyclops, Jean Grey, like origin story of the X-Men, like the Xavier's first students. They're not going to do that. Nobody wants to see that again. And they want to be able to introduce a lot of these newer, more diverse characters, the younger X-Men characters, you know. So I think they'll establish this team, the beloved 92 team, as the senior X-Men. They'll be the teachers at the school and that sort of thing. And I think a lot of the X-Men material we'll get is going to be from the perspective of these like entry point of view characters, like, you know, your Jubilee or your Kitty Pryde, but they won't be those two characters. They'll be even Jubilee will be a little more senior at the school, I suspect. And, you know, we'll get like Rockslide or Anoli or Glob Herman or Pixie or Armor or some of these great characters. And like, the show may not be named after them, but I suspect they'll be like main characters, these younger characters, and like they'll just be like amazed by the world of this more established team and all that sort of stuff.
I think you're hopelessly idealistic and naive. There's no way they're not going to use the characters that everybody knows.
No, I'm saying they are.
But they're going to be back. If they're not the main
story.
characters, they're going to be backseat characters.
No. I think I maybe explained myself.
No, but that's literally you literally describing the first X-Men movie. Like all of them are teachers at the school and already established, and then Wolverine and Iceman show up, and then we get and Rogue, and then we get the introduction to them all that way. It's the exact same way they did it before.
Yeah, I think they'll probably do that again, but different, because they'll use like these way newer and younger characters. It won't just be taking a character we all know and making them young, like Rogue and that sort of thing.
No, I think they'll go the opposite. I think they'll go the opposite way. I think they'll make them young. Like when they started in X-Men, they were already adult people that were teaching at the school that had a history with Xavier.
That's what I think we'll get with the 92.
I think it'll start again, but it'll be Cyclops and all them will be teenagers.
No, we've done that with First Class. That was terrible.
Well, we didn't get to that till later, and that was different. They only put Cyclops in like two movies in.
I prefer my theory quite a bit, I gotta say. You know what we haven't played in a while? Let's play a game since we're making good time. Just a quick one. Oh no, did I replace the theme music for this? Oh, there it is. Expert casting. We haven't played this one in a while since we're talking about the MCU. So, because as I'm sure our listeners remember and you don't, here's how we play this game. One of us picks an actor or actress.
I remember how to play the game.
Okay, then you go first.
Right.
Shoot me. Hit me with an actor or actress. We're casting for the MCU here.
Oh, so what? They're going to be in the Marvel Universe? The live movies? playing an X-Men character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know
Isn't
this
that how we've been
Dreamcast.
doing, or have we been doing it animated voices?
I think it was the animated showing up on the show, but that's fine. We can do it this way. I like this way better, actually,
Okay, let's do it.
because there's some Dreamcasting out there that have come up a few times recently. Like there was somebody saying that Denzel Washington should play Magneto.
I'm all there for that.
Or also Daniel Craig should play Magneto, which I actually would think would be very cool. Daniel Craig as Magneto would be pretty cool.
I'm not super convinced on the acting chops of Daniel Craig yet, at least in that.
Have you seen Logan Lucky?
No.
The Soderbergh? Oh man! So what is your familiarity with him? Just
like
Bond. Well, watch Knives Out. Have you seen that?
No, I hear that one's good.
Dude, he's fantastic comedic actor as well as being a great action star too.
Neither of those things are Magneto.
Yes, but he has a wide range, is what I'm saying. I'm sure he
Okay.
could be a cold, calculating,
Like
extremist.
Denzel, on the other hand,
he's getting a bit long in the tooth. However, his son
He
might be a
is.
good choice. His son's a good actor, a really good actor.
Well, hit me. It's funny how I get trash talked you, and it was I who didn't.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, actually, who I really liked in that Lighthouse movie.
The Lighthouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one. Probably filmed here.
He's great. It was filmed in Yarmouth.
Yarmouth? Yeah, Yarmouth.
He's great in everything he's in. Look,
okay.
If you take the Twilight movies out of his canon of films, he's been in a lot of really cool, really different indie films. He's been in Cronenberg movies. He's been in
All right.
Robert Eggers.
I got the answer for you. I got the answer for you right now. He's Cyclops.
Yeah, I could buy that. I don't think he would do it, but I could buy that.
You don't think he plays Cyclops?
No, I think. Well, he's Batman right now. He's kind of got his own thing going on.
Well, you're the one that threw him at me. Of course, they're not going to cast.
No,
Batman.
I'm not saying. I'm saying he would be a good choice for it, but I don't think he would do it in real life. So I think your choice is valid.
Okay.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, what's mine?
All right, I'm gonna get you with one here. I'm gonna say. Just give me a second. I'm trying to go off the board a little. No, I'm not gonna go off the board. You're gonna be a little very notable actor. Kate Blanchett.
She's already in the MCU.
What?
She's Thor's sister.
Oh shit!
Ragnarok,
She did play
dude.
Hela. Okay, never mind. Take that one back. Here's one. Oh wait, no. You know what? Sure. Sandra Bullock.
She would have been a good Hela too, actually. Sandra Bullock. I'm trying to think of. I see her as an evil character with long black hair. You know who I would cast her as? Jessica Drew, the Spider Woman.
In the X-Men.
Oh, it's SB X-Men. Shit.
Yeah.
Well. Okay, I would.
I think Jessica Drew's been cast. Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Oh no, that's a Carpenter.
Oh yes, it's Dakota John. No.
Yeah.
No, she's playing Madam Web. All right, so Sandra Bullock, Bird Box, The Net.
The way you described how you picture her, a character certainly came to my mind.
Yeah, some kind of a witchy character, but I don't know X-Men characters as well. So
it's got to be Selene based on your description.
Selene.
Selene, the Black Queen of the Hellfire Club, and who is in fact the oldest mutant. She's
her, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Then, well, isn't she the one that was just in the previous ones in the Savage Land? Wasn't that Selene?
No, that's Zaladane.
Zaladane, that's what it was.
Selene's a very cool character. She's like an energy vampire.
Yeah, no, I saw her, but I couldn't remember her name. So yeah, Selene.
Yeah. There's that kind of picture going around on social media right now of Kim Kardashian as Mystique and all that.
Right.
Yeah, Selene's one of the costumes in that picture as well. It was Magic, Mystique, and Selene. So I think that's a good pick. That's your
agreed.
Pick.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man. Your description, I was like, oh, she would be a good Selene. Yeah. Yeah, I like Sandra Bullock too. She's cool.
Yeah, old Sandy Bullock's good. Sandy B.
Yeah, Sandy B. She's filmed a movie in my hometown of Windsor, Nova Scotia one time with Dennis Leary. All right, here we go.
All I need now is for you to contact your students, Professor.
Kind of tailors off there, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know.
All right. Well, you just watched episode 2 of the Dark Phoenix, The Inner Circle. Are we still doing our plan for next week, there, Davan?
Oh yeah, that's homework.
So next week we are doing 2 parts in one, being that we had to miss one.
No, not 2
not
parts in one. We're doing 2 episodes. They won't be 1 episode. We can do them at the same time, but we'll do 1 episode. We'll fire up
God, that's going to be so long. Are we really doing that?
That's the better way because it'll still take us the 2 hours.
I guess so you can put them both up at the same time. I just thought we were
no, it's more so because I don't want them on all the feeds like on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. I want them to be able to go to each episode, So.
Well, Andre's going to be annoyed next week because it's going to be a super long night. But yes, we're doing 2 episodes in one night, so you'll get to see.
The ex-goons know this is all your fault in the first place. So.
Well, excuse me for having a life outside of the show.
Well, I don't.
Well, that's fine, but I don't have children. I chose to do
I have
this.
a life as a parent, that's for sure.
Exactly. So I'd like to. Anyway, this is it. This is the price of admission for having Andre in your show. All right.
But
so if you don't like it, go get David Cutler, who you love so much.
Go get your precious David Cutler.
He's probably been drawing fucking some new awesome
masterful things right now. Exactly.
Magical things. So anyway, yeah. So you have 2 episodes to watch for next week, which is Dark Phoenix Saga Part 3, The Dark Phoenix, and The Dark Phoenix Saga Part 4, The Fate of the Phoenix, in which Davan has already revealed the fate of the said Phoenix, and it is not that she's going to die. So
and if you don't want to do, we can talk about this later, but if you don't want to do the 2 episodes right back to back, we can do them in separate weeks and do an episode and the interview on the same day. Because we have this interview coming up, which is our whole episode conundrum at the moment. Interview with writer extraordinaire Brooks Wachtel.
Well, the conceit was he wanted to finish the Dark Phoenix Saga before he had him on the show, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because
let's just do 2 next week.
The final episode. Okay.
Well, let's just do 2 next week then.
All right, 2 episodes next week. And then after that, the interview with Brooks Wachtel, which won't be live, but I'll fire it up as soon as we're done.
Oh, it's not going to be live.
No, I always give the guest the choice in that regard.
That's fair.
But we'll still be recording at our regular time. So, check the feed in about an hour and a half after normal showtime.
All right. But yeah, that's exciting. It'd be good to have another person involved with the show on. That's sweet. And yeah. In fact, the show is a friend of mine has been interested in doing a podcast. I don't know if I have the time to do one with him either. We'll see. But he's talked about perhaps doing a similar idea to what we do here to another popular show from the 90s. So we'll
very cool.
That may be something that may happen in the future, but probably knowing him, not for a while yet.
Well, tell him we have a federation for such things.
Yes, I've heard of such things.
And you can give us a holler. You can support the show at patreon.com/X-Men Review Show. We are now at YouTube/X-Men Review Show. Or at X-Men Review Show. We got a handle on there now.
You sure do.
You can contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com. Like I said, we're on the Facebook, the YouTubes, the Twitch. Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts. Please like, review, subscribe. We are a proud member of the United Federation of Podcasts, but let's talk about that United Federation for a moment here, shall we? Check this out, everybody. The Graphic Histories Podcast. Tell us what's going on there, Andre. Season 4 coming up.
We're back from hiatus. I don't have my guests narrowed down yet. There's a few people I've been talking to. I'll have that announced very soon. So we'll be back up and running in probably a few weeks. Now the play's over. I can start getting back to my regular life. And yeah, hopefully soon.
Very exciting to all who love good podcasts and the graphic comics world. The graphics world there.
Yeah,
and
I was hoping to. On the weekend. I met John Russo, who is the co-writer of Night of Living Dead.
I was hoping you hooked him up for the show.
Well, I got his email address. I sent him an email, but I haven't heard back from him. But as we were talking on this podcast, he literally just accepted my Facebook friend request. So I guess I could send him a Facebook message, and maybe that'll get answered quicker.
There you have it. So,
but maybe not. Maybe he doesn't do podcasts. He's an older gentleman, and it may not be in his realm to want to do anything like that. But I mean, he wrote one of the seminal movies in my development, Night of Living Dead, and yeah, he was a cool guy. I got a copy of the shooting script for the movie.
Still one of the best horror movies ever.
The original Night of Living Dead, for sure.
Yeah. I love that opening scene. I just love that opening scene so much.
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Yeah, coming to get you, Barbara. Also, check out Hold Up. Every 2 weeks, me and Mr. Worldmine Murphy do a movie podcast. The next one's going to be on, and it's thematic. Our first one was on the cinema. Our second theme was Halloween themed, and we did werewolf movies. And this one is going to be on dystopia, where we will be reviewing Logan's Run, Gattaca, and what is it? Murphy making me watch. He's very delighted to make me watch this movie. He's still mad I made him watch The Tingler, but I'm like, you're mad about like an hour-long movie, and he's making me watch a 2.5-hour movie with The Rock and Justin Timberlake in it.
Oh, you're watching Southland Tales.
Yeah, he's making me watch Southland Tales. Yeah.
Well, there is they just released it as with like a crazy. Well, you know what's funny? That movie was like there's a lot of stuff.
I've never seen it. So.
Well, it's interesting. I'll be curious to see your take on it. There is a new director's cut that just came out. Arrow put out, so it's even longer, but apparently it's a much more cohesive story. Richard Kelly, the guy that made that movie, is the same guy that made Donnie Darko. That was his follow-up to it, basically. Okay. But it was a bewilderingly strange movie that goes pretty far into some really strange places. I'll be interested to see what you think about it. I'm overdue to rewatch it again because I watched it when I was a kid and didn't really have the mental capacity, I think, to appreciate some of the things that he was doing in that movie. But that was like one of the first movies when they were really trying to make experiences with movies beyond just watching a movie. Like there was a website that gave you some information. There was a comic book series that gave you some information. There's supposed to be a video game that filled it in some other stuff. No, I don't think the video game happened. But, he had all these plans for things to like build this big cohesive thing that some of it didn't happen. So there are kind of these gaps in it. But I think this director's cut that I have, which I haven't watched yet, is supposed to fill that in. So maybe watch that version. Then you'll have something over Murphy's head if you have the time.
There you go. Ha-ha. Take that, Murphy. So, we're having fun with that podcast, but we've been going a little long. They've been close to 3 hours. We're hoping to get the next one. We've been planning a bit of a tighter format. The first couple, just like with this show, the first couple episodes are a feeling out process, and then you find what you're really trying to narrow in on. And I think we've done that. So hopefully about 2 hours on the next one. Also check out my beloved Star Trek podcast, Locutors of Trek. We just did a Mirror Universe Scott Lamental, directed by Mr. Scott there. And, we'll do a Treckle Trunk in the next few days where I will review this comic here, Star Trek #1. And maybe a comic we've reviewed on the audio-only podcast, but never for the Treckle Trunk video show, is Star Trek Ferengi, The Future is Female. I think we might just talk about that a little more. That was a fun one. And check out Live Long and Podcast, everything they've got going on over there, the brand in which my Locutors of Trek falls under these days. You see our different our divisions there. You got Command and Red, all the Star Trek reviews of all the shows. And then there's the Science Division there. That's us. That's over us, the Locutors. Then there's the Yellow Ops Division there where we do the radio theater, Star Trek radio theater. That's always a fun time. You gotta look at those nice logos. Lovely stuff. And also check out Super Mater Brothers podcasting. They keep up on reality shows and other such things, current affairs, And Trivial Debates, what a shit show that was the other night. My God, I don't even want to talk about it. I'll just get angry and frustrated. But we
Because
did
you
our trivia.
lost.
Well, I told you the fix was in before it even started.
Well, because well, I had a good time. It started late because of me. Basically, I finished. I agreed to do the thing the day after the play wrapped, and I was up to 3 a.m. taking the set down, and I slept right through my alarm. So, although I did finally get in, and then they had a replacement for me, which they thought wasn't showing up. We did show up, so it turned into a big old cluster. But it was still fun. I had a good time. I would do it again.
Jaemeel says he would have died had he been on that show, and I told him I did die. In fact, I died.
Well, being on this show, I'm used to flying by the seat of your pants, disorganized.
I was going to say you're used to a well-run, perfectly produced and directed show by yours truly.
I sure am,
Skelbastian Shaw.
But I'm also a professional wrestler and a stage actor, so I'm familiar with things going off the rails, and you have to roll the punches. So that's all you can do.
I tire of your squabbling.
Well, the White Queen is tired of our squabbling, so I guess we should get out of here.
She can go fuck herself.
You hear that, Emma? Well, I guess that's no better way to end the show than that.
That's right.
Well, catch you next time, everybody.
Next time, guys. Thanks so much.
1, 2, 3.